If you lived in Las Vegas between April 1978 to June 1981, this theme song was all too familiar. It was the open for the TV crime drama Vegas, starring Robert Urich as private detective Dan Tana. The show shot 69 episodes, primarily on location around the Las Vegas Valley. For tourists, it was a great treat to stop and watch the crews shooting. And for locals, well, it almost became routine to see them all over town. My family literally lived just blocks away from the show's home base, the Desert Inn Hotel, which of course is where the Wynn Hotel is located today. Here's my sister and grandmother who went down to say hi. And my dad actually appeared in numerous episodes. At the time, I worked as a TV news cameraman at Channel 13, the local ABC affiliate, the network the show aired on. There was a running joke at the station that it was the Love Boat on Land. Now that was because not only were both Aaron Spelling productions, but because they both attracted a long list of famous co-stars. One was Tony Curtis, who lived in Las Vegas and had a recurring role at one point. Now the show's producers would occasionally call Channel 13 when they had a scene requiring the news media. One day I took the request and grabbed a good friend of mine, Leon, from the engineering department. And we headed downtown to City Hall, lower level parking, for our big break into stardom. Our assignment was to follow Dan Tana to his famous 57 T-Bird and shout a few questions along the way. This is the clip of our incredible performance.
You're Dan Tana, the private investigator, aren't you?
Yes.
Miss Davis worked for you. Do you believe that this shooting had anything to do with a case you're working on, maybe?
Look, there's no comment at this time. The police are working on it.
But what about these rumors we've been hearing about a black cat killer? Can you tell us about that?
As far as I'm concerned, it's just rumors. Will you excuse me?
Well, needless to say, Leon and I are still waiting for our phone call from Hollywood. Oh, by the way, in our group there were several Las Vegas news icons. Red McIlvaine, Harley Akers, Rod Jackson, and Gus Giuffre, along with Leon and I. The shot also illustrates the purpose of this video, the Metropolitan Police Department's role in this TV series.
Mr. Cohen, we have a robbery in progress at the cashier's cage.
The cashier's cage? Notify Metro and tell them to get their boys out here in a hurry.
Yes, sir.
From robberies to car chases, Metro was there every step of the way. And a good number of the officers were the real thing. Retired Metro Lieutenants Dennis Larson and Wayne Peterson were in several episodes as working Metro police officers. They recently took some time out to share their experiences.
Everyone in uniform in the series was a real cop. They hired us through a local talent agency, and they paid us a Screen Extra Guild rate, even though we didn't have to join the Screen Extra Guild. And like I said earlier, it was great because we got the same amount of money whether you were there for an hour or you're there for 8 hours.
Dennis Larson recalls he changed careers one day without even planning on it.
This is inside the Desert Inn Hotel. That's the siege at the DI. That's me. With more hair, less wrinkles, and a better attitude. And that's Mel Fraley. He was a canine officer. And then Bob DeHoyt, he was a patrol officer. And Mel and I were on the same squad back then. He hadn't gotten to be a canine officer yet.
It's all clear.
Come on, sport. You're coming with me. Hey! Close enough. I swear, one move, and he gets it. He's a dead man. You got that?
So how did you become a security guard?
They took some of us, because they had about 5 of us they gave shirts to and said, you guys are going to be Desert Inn security guards today. And so we came in uniform, and then they gave us these things upstairs and told us what we had to do, but there were other guys there besides us, and I don't know what they did, because we just did this here, and that was it.
It was great that after they shot the scene you were in, they'd let you go.
Out of the car. Move away slowly. Put your hands on top of your head. Spread your heels.
Hoskins, if this is about that traffic ticket...
So as a young Wayne Peterson disarms Dan Tana and goes in for the perfect handcuffing technique, not everyone saw it that way.
You're serious about this?
I don't believe it either.
not to disparage the dead, but I didn't like him. And after I handcuffed him, he says, not to me, but to everybody else, could somebody tell this rookie we're acting here? Because I must have put the cuffs on too tight.
So, as Wayne is having a problem with the star, Dennis is having a problem with the door.
And what they told us to do was Kurt Kinzer and I were to come in with our police cars. I think we had our lights on or something. We're supposed to pull up and stop and then get out and go up to this door here. And Kinzer was to walk off with camera, and I was supposed to go up and turn around the door and stand there. And then Greg Morris would come up and he was going to walk in. So we did this run through 2 or 3 times, and so I go in there and I'm standing at the door and I don't think anything of it, you know, and he pulls up in his unmarked car, gets out, puts his badge on and comes walking up, and he walks by me and I'm not supposed to say anything. They say, you know, don't talk, you know, and so he walks up by me.
More if you said anything.
And he walks up and he sticks his hand out and he goes, "Where's the f***ing doorknob at?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know." And they cut. They go back and they say, "There's no doorknob on this door."
All right.
So, of course, in the final scene, they cut away right before Hollywood magic strikes again. There was one Metro officer, however, that was a little more special than the rest.
And of course, Big Gary Zicker.
My name's Roger Polsky. I understand you're looking for witnesses?
Who was actually offered a job by Robert Urich to travel with him and be his stand-in everywhere he went. But of course, Gary stayed with the department.
Come with me. This is Mr. Polsky, Lieutenant.
Hi. Mr. Polsky?
It was funny because they were well received within a department. I mean, because they used the guys as extras, and then they had access to the department to go in there and shoot and do different things and that stuff. And so the shots of the desk sergeant, that's actually in City Hall doing it.
Paramedics van operates out of Vegas General.
They had the interior of his house reconstructed or constructed inside a warehouse over at Harmon and Valley View. They also had one of the T-Birds in that warehouse, and when Dan Tana's driving down the strip, he was just sitting there and they were rolling video behind him.
Busted down a door.
Do you remember where that scene that you handcuffed him?
Yeah, it was right outside that warehouse on Harmon.
So that was kind of cool just to be in this series, you know.
It was good advertising for the whole town.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't pay attention to the plot and the fact that Metro can't solve anything without old Dan Tana. But if you can get past that, it really wasn't that bad of a show.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, you saw a lot of, and it's even more today. I like to watch them more today because you can look back and see what Vegas used to look like, and things that are gone are in the pictures, you know, that people will never see again.
Well, I guess it could be said that Vegas was good for Vegas, and Metro was definitely good for Vegas. It was a relationship that will probably never be seen again.
No.
So, as we wrap things up by giving the Traffic Bureau some respect, there is one more link to Metro that you might find interesting. Dennis Larson and I are Mercy Ambulance alumni, and Mercy is featured throughout the series. And not unlike Metro, a majority of the medics that appeared on screen were authentic. So what's the Metro link? Well, this Mercy Ambulance medic later turned out to be the leader of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. And now you know.
This here's Cliff Davis. Yeah, he left the department as a deputy chief, and they actually were our cars. They weren't their cars. They weren't movie cars that they drove. So I was scared to death. Well, you know, these pictures here, like Don Helm here. In this one here, he's a patrolman, but he was actually a sergeant on Metro.
Where is he? What's going on?
Nobody's there. The room's empty.
So thanks for joining me on this look back at a very special relationship in Vegas.
You're all right, you know that.
If you kiss me, I'll get you arrested. I've got a reputation to uphold.
Call the cops.